continue to cause havoc in the country in what remains a key concern for the Kenya Kwanza government, as Ian Ketani now narrates.
Now, banditry has been a menace in the country, counties in the Rift Valley region being the most affected with cases of cattle rustling. Insecurity in the region continues to be a key concern, especially in West Pokot, Turkana, Elgeyo-Marakwet and Baringo counties. But the question is, what is the root cause of these attacks?
I think basically the issue of banditry, or rather insecurities in Turkana, or in counties of Turkana, Baringo, West Pokot, is basically a matter of resource scarcity. In my own opinion, that is what I opine that maybe that could be the reason. Basically, in those counties, there are some counties which are more endowed with the more natural resources that our people are fighting for.
As the year draws to an end, the country has witnessed more than 100 cases of banditry attacks in the northern parts of Rift Valley, with West Pokot, Turkana, Samburu and Elgeyo-Marakwet being the mostly affected counties in regard to matters in security. In February this year, a school bus ferrying students from a school trip was attacked in tow, leading to the death of one student, with at least 15 more left seriously injured. A few weeks later, 4 more people lost their lives in a banditry attack in Kapturo, Baringo County, and 2 more others losing their lives, including a foreign tourist in Lodwar, West Pokot County, due to banditry attacks. As the ripple effects of banditry attacks continue to be felt in the North Rift region, Dr. Likaka Lishetu insists that the government ought to do more through localized sensitization.
The traditional way of life means that they are surviving on livestock. Unless we change the core where we actually remove them from livestock and focus on other socioeconomic well-being. If we don't do that, we can't solve the problem. Because there's no way you'll actually deny these people livestock, yet you don't give them alternative.
The Cabinet Secretary, Professor Kithure Kindiki, sounding a stern warning to cattle riders in the North Rift region, assuring them that they will have it rough as the government is set to take them head on.
Wale watu wote katika hii county ya Samburu, Marsabit, Turkana, West Pokot, Elgeyo-Marakwet, Baringo, Laikipia, Isiolo, wale watu ambao kazi yao miaka nenda miaka rudi ni kuiba ng'ombe za wengine na kuua wananchi. Niko hapa leo kuwaambia mkome mara moja.
With banditry being a key concern in the country, former President Kenyatta did his part in battling the menace. However, his efforts did not bear any fruits as more banditry attacks occurred. Tiati constituency in Baringo County has been the battlefield for bandits in the North Rift region for some time now, with allegations of politicians funding the attacks. In May this year, more than 10 people lost their lives to banditry attacks in Chebinyinyi and Ngataruko area of Baringo, with more than 50 cows lost to bandits. With the affected counties battling underdevelopment, Aaron Nanok believes that this has been brought about by the insecurity in the region.
I mean, you cannot produce food in an insecure area. You cannot even go to the farm. You might have the resources that you need to, what they call factors of production, but because you are insecure, you cannot even go to your farm and so that you can produce some food for your household and even for the community. To me, it is one of the major contributing factor to the underdevelopment of those areas.
After taking the oath of office, President William Ruto gave an ultimatum to the bandits in the country, led by Elgeyo-Marakwet, Baringo and Turkana.
Mimi nilishawaambia kazi hiyo ya kukoroga amani, kupiganisha wananchi, bunduki left, right and center, hiyo kazi tutaikomesha. Wawache hiyo kazi kwa hiari, na kama hawatawacha kwa hiari, watawacha kwa lazima.
However, despite the stern warning by the president, just a week after being sworn in, 11 people were attacked and killed by bandits in Turkana, among them 8 police officers while pursuing cattle that was stolen in Turkana County.
Attacked a police vehicle, killing 8 police officers, a chief and 2 civilians.
Hawaamini kwamba serikali iko. Sasa mimi ninasema kwamba kama serikali inataka kuonesha ama kuconfuse Wakenya kwamba serikali iko, wahakikishe kwamba bunduki za serikali zote ambayo imechukuliwa tiati hiyo bunduki irudishwe.
In his first official visit to Turkana as the head of state, President William Ruto was vocal on tackling banditry, assuring residents that the government will do what it takes to ensure the bandits surrender.
Mambo ya wizi wa ng'ombe, mambo ya mauaji ya wananchi kiholela na wakora na watu wachache, hiyo biashara itakoma na sio tafadhali, itakoma. Mumenielewa? Na tafadhali waambie wala wanaendesha hiyo biashara. Mimi nimesema leo nikiwa Turkana, watafute kazi ingine, kwa sababu hiyo haitawezekana tena katika taifa letu la Kenya.
According to Dr. Lishetu, the only way to deal with the issue of banditry is through localized consultations, as different regions have different challenges as compared to the use of force.
One of the things in terms of addressing challenges in society, it will not mean an eye for an eye. There must be an alternative. There's what we call proactive means and reactive means. There's no way you'll say, fine, they're using guns, therefore we can also use guns. Remember the great GSU officer who actually talked to the young people in 2007 when they're actually demonstrating in Madare. Even alternatives should be found by providing an avenue for negotiation, agreeing using local means, and having localized problem. My biggest problem is that Kenya is not one homogeneous country. So it will require that there is need to have localized solutions. Yes, we have the constitution, we have the law, but how you'll handle issues around Baringo is not the way you handle issues in Kajiado.
With speculations indicating that the bandits are funded by politicians as they use sophisticated weapons, Nanok narrated that the bandits could be funded by politicians in one way or the other.
I'm told, I have some information that there are people who are behind most of the banditry attacks. I'm reliably informed that there are politicians who are on cattle business. They therefore supply some of these cattle to the Kenya Meat Commission, and therefore to me it's a business that someone is buying.
There is an element where the political leaders play a role, not necessarily in terms of funding, but when politicians will want to play to the whims of the community by coming closer to say we are protecting our people or our people are being harassed. That is how it automatically translates that the politicians have a role to actually solve the problem and provide a way forward. Because if politicians hold meetings and guide the young people, provide alternative, generally young people will not be involved in crime. Who are the real caterers? The actual bestie in Nairobi. They're the people who make all the arrangements, and then the young people in the village implement their deal.
According to Aaron Nanok, commercialization of cattle in the region is part of the causes that contribute to the rise of insecurity in the region.
I will entirely speak of, for example, Uganda and Kenya. I think to me, it is something that I have some reservations, but I think there's some shreds of truth in it, because what the information I have is that some of these bandits, they even cross the border, they get the ammunition from the other side of Uganda, and even the ones who are in Uganda, they even raid Kenya and then they take the animals. For example, the corridor that borders Kenya, that is Uganda, Turkana, South Sudan. To me, most of these bandits, for example, the one that from Turkana, West Pokot, Baringo, there's some reliable information that they even get the ammunition from Uganda. Therefore, there is some shreds, there's some elements of people commercializing the business of banditry in East Africa.
Even as the government steps its efforts in fighting banditry, the question remains, will President William Ruto's government walk the talk?
Ian Kitani with that report.